Thanks for tuning in. I'm Scott, Newbie Mountain Bike Love, and today is part 2. We were looking at the top 10 skills you need to progress your mountain biking. And we covered 5 last week, and here's the second 5 this week. Hopefully you had a chance to put some of those first 5 into practice. That if you had questions, you left comments, and you kind of just learned as you went. Today we're going to look at the second 5. So tune in. Here we go. Let's cover them. The last 5 of top 10. Number 6. Here we go. Speed. Speed is a skill because there's slow speeds and there's fast speeds. Some people feel more comfortable doing things at slower speeds and they don't want to go very fast. Well, this limits their progress because there's certain features you need to really take at speed to clear correctly. At the same time, some people go just all out fast everywhere, and what they're missing is that control that it takes to do some of the slower speed maneuvers. So then when they come across a section where they need to be going slow, they don't really have the skills to maneuver the bike where they need it. You just can't always rely on momentum to take you through a tough section. And it really will show some weaknesses of riders that ordinarily would do pretty good. When they have to slow it down, they need to work on it. Now, you may be asking the question, I'm not sure what speed to take on this trail. Well, this is where maybe a fundamental skills course comes in to help you to know what speed to use on what feature of a trail. Or go riding with friends, or go riding with a group of people that are riding the same trail you are, people with more experience. That's really one of the best ways to learn. Ride with somebody else. And they can even sometimes give you what's called a lead in. It's really more common with jumps and drops and more of the advanced features, but you can use it anywhere to get behind somebody as they set the speed, and you just follow them, and you just keep the same speed that they choose. That's called a lead in. So hopefully you got some friends. The mountain bike community is pretty tight, so you should be having some friends, or there should be a shop with a group ride. So call the shop and see, hey, when can we ride together? So use the available mountain bike community. It's a real tight group of folks. Don't get all caught up in your ego that says, oh, you can figure this out for yourself. Nah, get help. It's okay. Ego will definitely be bruised if you do it all alone. You're going to end up trying to hit a section you should be going faster at too slow, and you won't have the skills to clear it, and you'll have that slow motion wreck where it's just like a hop, a hop, a hop, and then a fall and a roll. Or you could be finding yourself in a section you should be going slow in, but you try to go faster in it and take your momentum through, and there'll be a section and a feature on the trail that will cause you to lose control. So don't do that. Number 7. Now this is one I've covered before, but I want to get a little more involved with it. Pedal position. Now we already have established that you want equally weighted feet on the pedals. Well, what about the pedal position? Where should you have those pedals? And according to what the terrain and the trail and the bike and ascents and the descents and all that's going on at once and going through rock gardens and everything else you got to do, where should you put your feet? First of all, proper foot position on your pedals would mean the balls of your feet are on, or preferably slightly forward of the axle of the pedal. That way you have flexibility in your foot to go heel down, heel up. So you want to have it right there, the axle right there, pretty much. Here's the ball. Move that shoe forward. And you want to use that flexibility in your ankles for that proper pedal position. So get used to doing this skill. This will go the longest for you as you get heavier in your feet and think with your feet. So there are various scenarios on a trail where you should have your feet in various positions. I've got the front pedal and the back pedal. All right. So when you are braking, you'll want the front pedal down as a brace. Some people can go both, but at least have the front down and knee bent, hips behind the saddle as you brake. That'll keep you from going over the bars. Now, as you are going through technical rock gardens and things that can throw you off, there's something that I want to share with you. It's top secret. Now, we're going to go over this in greater detail in a different video. It's called the wedge. Yep, the wedge. It's a wedge. See the wedge? So what's going on is you've got your front heel down, but the back you've got the toe down. Now what you're doing is you're pressing against the pedals. This gives you a very stable, it might not be this extreme, it might be like this, but you're wedging and pressing against the pedals. It makes you very stable on the bike, and as you go through, your foot won't slip off, you won't get bounced up. Very stable position, the wedge. Another position that you'll do is the same, similar. You at least have the back toe down, and you'll claw the bike over an obstacle. Like you have the front wheel over, and the rear wheel, you'll claw to lift the back wheel over a feature, a log, a rock, or up onto a feature. And then you've got your tall, ready position where you're just relaxing, you're loose, equally weighted. Now, another thing about pedal position is when you're pedaling, especially with flat pedals, when you come across the top, you want to push the pedal. Don't just ride that pedal across on that stroke. Push that pedal through that top of that stroke. Don't just glide it. Push it. As your riding advances and you take on new trails, harder trails, more technical trails, this pedal position muscle memory will come and play for you in an incredible way. It'll open up the door for you to try all kinds of new things. So don't get lazy, stupid feet. Think with your feet. Constantly move those feet around. Don't look at your feet as only the connection between your legs and the pedal. The feet should be very flexible and very mobile for whatever maneuver that you're doing and according to the terrain that you're on. If you don't learn to do that, it will stagnate your growth as a mountain biker and lead to accidents. So again, don't do that. Number 8. Cadence. What RPM are you pedaling at? Terrain dictates just how fast you should be pedaling. And gearing and gear selection will determine what RPM you're at as well. So these work together. Most people are comfortable pedaling between 70 to 90 RPM. That's even Tour de France riders. If you could watch these guys on an average day, not the sprinting, of course, that's 130, 140, 150, whatever. But around between 70 to 90, 95 is where most people naturally prefer to move their pedals, and mountain biking is no different. Now, when climbing, you'll find that you'll be between 50 to 60 RPM when you're climbing. It takes proper gearing to find that proper cadence. And I'll say this, flat pedal riding will take about a gear or two harder than if you're used to clipping in. So if you want to experiment, you've been a clipped in rider, and you want to learn, let the flat pedal start to, open up your riding and expand the way you ride and be your tutor, recognize that you'll be going a little harder gear so you can stay connected to the pedals. Regardless of the pedals system that you choose, you still have to have the right gear and the right cadence for the terrain that you're on. If you choose too hard of a gear, that will cause your cadence to be so slow, you will wear yourself out. And then just the slightest obstacle or feature in a trail can cause you to stop because you don't have just enough oomph to get over it. At the same time, if you're pedaling too fast, too easy of a gear, then you really have no power to get over an obstacle or feature as well. So somewhere in there is your Goldilocks. You got your Papa Bear, that's too hard of a gear. You got your Mama Bear, that's too easy of a gear. And then you've got your Baby Bear, that's your Goldilocks gear. That's one that's perfect. And when climbing, if you hit the wrong gear when climbing, you're going to power through, wear yourself out if you're going too hard. But if you're going too slow, it just looks like you're just spinning and going nowhere. So proper gearing and cadence are very important. And if you don't have the right gear in place, you won't have the proper power to do anything.
Don't do that.
Number 9 is like your timing. Yep, timing. Let's say you have the skills to move your front wheel up and over a log or a rock. But if your timing's off, it doesn't matter how much you can lift your front wheel, because you'll either hit before it or you'll hit too late and you're going to end up wrecking. Ouch. So timing is very important, as well as coordination. So let's say you've got good timing. You know how to get that front wheel over where you want it. But let's say you're off on what to do. Let's say that your steps to get there and your coordinated steps to achieve a maneuver are out of order or off. Again, that leads to a disaster. So timing and coordination, very important to learn. And it's good to practice on easier things before you get on the trail if it's a kind of an advanced maneuver that you're trying to practice timing and coordination on. One of the best things to practice on is really just a simple curve, a sidewalk curve. That will really help you get your timing and coordination down to getting the front wheel up, and then practice clawing and getting the back wheel up. And that'll go a long way with learning about how to properly use timing and coordination. Many features on the trail require a certain amount of timing and coordination to get over, get around, get on, get through, get by, in a safe manner with balance and control and stability. Again, I'll say this: take your time, learn from others, see what they're doing. Of course, you can watch YouTube videos. It's also good just to take a skills class again, or get out with friends and see how they come across and come around over or through an obstacle or a feature on a trail. And again, set your ego aside and don't try to learn some of this on your own. Bad timing and coordination will have severe and disastrous effects that could cause you to seriously fall out of love with mountain biking. So
Don't do that.
Number 10. All right, we've been through 9 steps, okay? Hopefully you've been taking notes, at least got this saved, make comments, ask questions, learning as you go. All right, the last one, number 10, equally as important. All these are important. Number 10, traction control. What I mean is, not too many things will stop your mountain biking, literally stop your mountain biking, than losing traction. Now, you achieve traction by a few things. It's either weight distribution, where you put your weight on the bike, as well as the PSI, the pressure you keep in your tires, using your feet correctly, how much weight you have in your hands, and also braking has a lot to do with traction, learning how to brake. It all adds up to traction. And of course, gear selection. If you're in too fast of a gear and you're on something kind of slick, and you put that power down, your tire will slide right out and you will lose traction. It's often just really subtle things you do on the mountain bike that determine your traction. Sometimes you can't tell, you just learn to do them as you practice more and more and more. Just a subtle movement of weight on the bike, a little feather of the braking, a little slight adjustment on the pedals will determine the traction that you have on a trail. It has a lot to do with traction and everything else we've done. So here we are, the last part of number 9. That was the last part of this second 5 of the top 10. That was the last part of the top 10. Here we go. The last thing is, again, I'll say it again, can't say it enough. You need to have equally weighted feet on your pedals, and as well as practicing your pedal position. This will affect not just your traction, but your whole mountain biking feature. So just practice with it. Even if you're clipped in, practice being flexible in those ankles, putting those heels down when you need to, putting the toe down when you need to. Just go out there and get it done and have fun with it. So that is the last of the top 10 skills you need to progress your mountain biking. Questions, comments, you know the drill. Leave them below and spread the word. share this, and let's see who else we can help, and let's see if we can spread this love for this great sport of mountain biking as we all learn and grow together, learn these fundamental skills, become from good mountain bikers to better mountain bikers to great mountain bikers as we apply all 10 of these fundamental skills. Have a great day. Again, I'm Scott, Newbie Mountain Bike Love. Bye-bye.
Don't do that.